gentlemen, and welcome to Beat the Beast, where news races the beast. Today we are here at Valravn Media Day, and we got a great lineup of topics for you as we discuss all the great things that are going on here at Cedar Point. So we have 4 topics as always, and as always as well, we are going to talk about each one in 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Of course, the ride time of the legendary Beast roller coaster. So I'm, of course, Aaron Barchak with Dwain Sponseller. And Dwain, our first topic today, but as we all know, before we get into that, we got to put that 4 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock. And there you have it. Our first topic today is Valravn, the ride experience. Dwain, you've been on it a few times today already. What are your thoughts about Valravn?
You know, the breathtaking view at the top is by far like my favorite part. I mean, the drop is one thing, you know, and the fact that when you get up to the top and you swing around and you can see the entire area of Lake Erie, we get to see that on Magnum every once in a while, but now seeing it here is something that is breathtaking. And obviously the first drop is by far probably the best element on the ride. Really, the surprising element to me is the roll at the end, right before the last airtime hill. An excellent element, I believe.
Well, you know, a lot of the discussion so far has been based around whether or not the new vests would actually make a big impact on this ride. And I know some people were out there saying that they really liked the B&M hard restraints and they really liked the airtime that they got on it. But I'll tell you what, I never really got that airtime with the hard restraints. I'm a bigger guy. I have a broad chest, and what would happen is I would get clicked down on a lot of times with the hard restraints. But I'll tell you, with these vests, it completely changes that, where I got a whole lot of airtime coming down off that first drop, and especially got to experience the airtime on the airtime hill at the end. Like you were saying, the inversions are really awesome. The best thing I can compare it to is the Gatekeeper experience. That on Gatekeeper, you really feel like you're going to fall out of that ride with that vest. And I'll tell you what, that's one of the things I really liked about it. Now, for the ride experience, like you said, that view from the top, when people said on Twitter, when Tony Clark said on Twitter that the view was the best in the park, I didn't believe him, because I know how great the view off of Magnum is.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you what, he was absolutely right. The view on this one is about 25 times better than the one on Magnum. It's really a fantastic view, and I think that's what people are really going to hone in on here, that it's the whole overall experience of it. And then like you said, it's the drop. That drop is amazing. That drop, you feel like you're falling forever on it. Now, we're going to talk about later the comparison of the different dive coasters in America, but I'll tell you what, just to jump the gun a little bit, I've been on all 3, and this one is by far the best drop of any of the 3 dive coasters.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that if a dive coaster is going to be a dive coaster, but if you really focus in on it, that drop is really the highlight of this ride, and I think a lot of people who are coming to Cedar Point this season are really going to love that. So that time, we beat the beast, man.
Hey, it doesn't happen very often. Must be this whole live setting that we're in.
The whole live setting.
Something a little bit different.
So the next topic we're going to have is the Valravn theme. But before we get started into that, once again, we got to start that clock. And there you have the 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Dwain, the theme of this ride. Cedar Point, not really known for its theming. Gatekeeper has they're known for great ride logos. That we ran a contest a few years back that we tried to determine the best ride logos. And I'll tell you what, Cedar Point has some of the best ride logos anywhere.
Everything.
Gatekeeper, from 2 years ago to Gatekeeper, and you look at Raptor and Millennium Force is simple, but
I enjoy Mavericks because
Maverick.
Yeah.
Just the ride logos are amazing. And one once again, we see Cedar Point stepping it up in the ride logo. Where last year at the end of the year, if you were here for Hollow Weekends, you might have seen they had the huge Valravn throne out on the midway. And a lot of people love taking pictures with it, and they kind of stepped it up a notch from there, where now they have the huge throne, but they have this great 3D bird on it that has a great lighting package at night, got this red light that comes out from behind it. Really looks impressive. I thought the logo last year, that it was like, just 2D, it looked nice, but this 3D logo makes it look even better. Oh man, does it make it look better. And I think the other thing that they've done with Valravn is that they've stepped up the theme throughout the whole ride. And we kind of saw them do that down at Kings Island with Banshee, where we saw them really step it up in terms of the station and the gift shop. And once again, we see that here. There's some amazing stonework throughout the whole queue, which I really, really like. The stonework is amazing. The gift shop carries that theme through with great stonework. And then I think the most special part is on the side of the station, you have this beautiful scaling that almost looks like chainmail to me, to bring you back to that medieval theme. And I think that's really where this ride, the station, not so much the inside of the station, but the outside of the station, and the moving into the queue line, completely impressive, and way beyond what they did for other rides here lately.
I was thinking, we see this medieval theme with like you were saying with the station, and it brings me back to Centurion, when we saw that the fake name that we thought Fury 325 was going to be, and then we see the T-shirt with the bee that had the armor on it when we were down there, and so this brings me back to that. You're wondering, are we into that now? Where Cedar Fair is into this medieval theme, where we're going to see this. Being Valravn, is the next coaster or ride going to be Centurion, because they already have that, as a registered trademark. So I'm anxious to see where that goes. But with the theming on this, and I know a lot of people are going to say, this isn't themed right, or there's not enough, or whatever.
Yeah.
But once you get here, right? But once you get here, you will see that the layout, where it's located, and it just goes back to that breathtaking view. That's what you're going to focus in on when you're on this ride. You're not even going to think about anything else when you're at the top, because that's the first thing, and then all of a sudden you hang and you literally dive. And the hashtag dare to dive, which is what they're talking about all day long today, that's what you're doing. Not only once, but twice. And I think the theming is what it is, but we're not at a park that is known for that.
Yeah.
This is a park that is known for their thrill coasters. This is a thrill coaster not designed to be heavily themed.
And I'll be honest with you, when looking at it, I'd rather you take that extra money and put it into the ride experience, especially since you don't have that collection of things that already have that. So it's not like you're degrading. It's like, I'd rather see a better ride experience, and put that money there. And you know what else I think is, there's a lot of room underneath this ride. I think we might see a brand new haunt. Maybe bringing, Fear Fair was one of my favorite, and there you have the bell. That the Beast wins this time. But to finish that thought, you had Fear Fair that was up towards the front of the park. That was amazing. I love that haunt, and now it's gone. Now you bring it in this medieval theme again, and there's a lot of space. I wouldn't be so surprised if we see a medieval themed haunt here this Hollow Weekends, which I would absolutely love. I think that needs to come back. So moving on to our next topic, which is the overall park improvements that we've seen around here. So we're going to start that clock again. And there you see it. Now, as you can see behind me, we have the beautiful, greatest roller coaster in the world. If you did not know, that nice, beautiful green you see behind me is indeed the #1 roller coaster in the entire world, as voted upon by many people.
According to this guy.
According to me, and maybe even Raptor Universe.
I don't really know anybody else.
But as you can see, we posted some stuff from Winter Chill Out this year, and I can tell you that it looks fantastic. The green just pops. The green is amazing. It's beautiful. The majesty of this great bird on the Midway. And now we got 2 birds on the Midway. I've been tweeting that out today. Birds on the Midway. So, now we got all this new stuff. But the green just pops. And I'm going to tell you something else. When we drove in here this morning, we showed up at Media Day at 5 a.m. And we drove in, and the one thing, what did I say to you, Dwayne? What did I say?
Yeah.
I said, look at that green light.
Yeah.
That green, that Raptor has the Fury lights on the side of it now, and it looks amazing at night. It's going to light up that lift hill. You can see it all the way down the causeway. It looks amazing. I think that's one of the greatest improvements of the whole year, is general improvements, is the green and bringing Raptor back to its level of greatness and its level of beauty and majesty. But as you can see behind me, we also have a few other things. On over to my left here, we have a brand new basketball game, a 3-point shootout that they're still in the process of installing. We have a lot of brickwork on the new marina gate, the new marina entrance. That there's brickwork and a brand new gate there as well. And then we're currently sitting on the old pirate ride area that has been turned into a patio. So I'm questioning that maybe next year we're going to see a little dark ride. I don't know anymore. I thought for sure this area was.
We really thought this would be the area for that, but with this new kind of facade that they've kind of built in front of it, you'll see that when you arrive because it's kind of behind the camera here. But where you used to see the cannon that was kind of poking out of the window, that's no longer here. That's now gone. We have this kind of I don't even know what to call it. It's still a facade.
It's still the same shape. You weren't here for the pirate ride. Were you here for the pirate ride?
No, I wasn't. No.
So it's still the same shape. You still got the same outline, but they've kind of cleaned it up, put a patio, put some nice chairs out here. A very nice place to sit and relax.
Yeah, absolutely.
In addition to all the great. In addition to all the great additions, throughout the brickwork and the flower pots, the whole area looks great. But I think one of the biggest things is they finally connected the Blue Streak Midway back on to make an even flow. So before, when you used to walk, you used to get caught. It was a dead end on Blue Streak. So you're caught in here. You had Blue Streak, Calypso.
We had Calypso here, and so you couldn't walk that way.
You could not walk, but now you're connected back to the main Midway that you can do a complete circuit, which I think is really going to improve the flow of this Midway. And obviously having Valravn back here is going to definitely bring more people here. And I think Blue Streak's going to see a little jump in ridership this year, if I had to guess. Any thoughts on the overall improvements?
Yeah, the first thing you notice when you come across the causeway, like Andy said, is the lighting package. Not only does Raptor have the green lighting package, but Valravn has an LED lighting package as well that is multicolored, that it races up the lift hill, and so you can see it obviously too from far away out on the causeway. One of the things that I also noticed was the color of the Valravn, gift shop, purple.
Yeah.
You don't see it. You focus in on it, on the orange of the track. You really don't think about the purple supports. You see that kind of play over into not only the station and the steps, but also here behind us, the Valravn gift shop, which has of course, we run out of time again. The beast has beat us. But yeah, I'll finish on that. But the sheer beauty of it, it is a massive thing. They did break records, and that's what Cedar Point's known for. Tallest, fastest, longest. That's what they've done. That's what they set out to achieve, and that's what they did.
Absolutely. Now, the last topic, as promised, is going to be the comparison of the dive coasters. So let's start that clock for the final time today. And there you have it. So in America, and there's a number of other dive coasters around the world. I have not had the ability and time to go out there to Europe to ride them. But I've been on SheiKra. I've been on Griffin. SheiKra is ranked for me in my top 30. So I really enjoyed SheiKra. It really surprised me. Griffin, I know a lot of people like Griffin better. I'm the opposite. I like SheiKra better. But let me say that Valravn, I think, I won't say it blows it out of the water, but Valravn is the superior coaster in this grouping. That the first drop, because you have that extra 20 or so feet right there in the middle of the drop, that it really gives you a better free fall sensation. that it's really that extra space. And then, like you said earlier, that last inversion where either you flip up or dive down a little bit, both ways you get some massive roll in there where you're out of your seat. And once again, we get to the vests, and that's where the vests are really going to make that element special. That you have that free fall sensation. It feels like you're falling out of the seat. So it's really the vests that help that. I don't think you get that on the hard restraints. I really don't. That with the hard restraints, if they're right up against you, I don't think you're going to get that same sensation. I really think that it's because of the vest that you have that.
And we see that on other rides like the wing coasters, where when Gatekeeper had the locked vests, you didn't feel that. But once once that was taken care of, when you're going down the drop on Gatekeeper, you get that feeling. That's what you get going through the inversions on this particular coaster. And I think when you actually can come up out of your seat a little bit, it makes the ride experience that much better. And like Andy, as a She-Crow lover, I liked Griffin. I liked it so much I named my dog after it. I said that before on our shows. But I liked it because it was something that I had never experienced before. And so again, that was the first one that I'd ridden. This one is better. Now, I will say that it lacks a splashdown or a tunnel, which a lot of people said that was something that they would have had an issue with. But once you ride it, you won't be thinking about that, because really, would a tunnel kind of maybe obstruct the view? Maybe they were looking just to have you want to see the view once you're at the top. And if you're looking at down here, it's kind of obstructing everything else that they want you to look at. So I think that was a major thing as well. I haven't ridden anything in Europe, obviously. I haven't even got a chance to ride She-Cruiser, so I can't compare it to that. But I will say that this one is going to rank just ahead of Griffin because of the different elements that are in it that really Griffin doesn't have.
Yeah, and I think this one has an overall better pacing, where the first half of the ride before the mid-course brake run, you have two major elements there. Some might even say three, depending on how you look at it. But I think the rest of the ride, whereas maybe the other dive coasters, that's kind of like the throwaway part. That's really where this ride picks up, where you have some major elements in succession that really make that end of the ride far superior to, I think, the other dive coasters. That She-Cra, once you get past that first drop, it's kind of a one-trick pony. Right. Griffin, kind of a one-trick pony. The splashdown is fun, but the problem is it doesn't add to your ride experience. It adds to the overall experience of the park guests standing there watching it, maybe getting wet by it, but it doesn't add to the overall ride experience, where I think having these extra elements, having a more intense ride, will set this one ahead of the others for sure. I like it. I like it. It's going to be...
And it might not blow people away. If you're coming here with very high expectations, I know we just got beat again for the third time, but if that's the way you're coming, you're going to be disappointed. So my suggestion to you is do not come in here expecting something that is just going to blow your mind. Because that's not what it's designed to do.
In fairness, if you've never been on a dive coaster, expect this one to really impress you. If you've been on other dive coasters, you know basically what you're going to get here. It is significantly better, but it's still in the same vein. It's like you don't go and ride X-Flight or Wild Eagle and then come here for Gatekeeper, and it's the same style of ride. Same thing with Raptor and Banshee and Montu.
Right, and all of the like cookie cutter hypercoasters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same idea.
So, I come out to Cedar Point. I think you're going to enjoy Valravn. It's going to be in my top 30 probably. It's going to rank for me, meaningfully rank. So, come on out, join it. We've had a great time here. I think you're going to have a great time on Valravn. Experience the whole thing, and more so, experience Raptor, because that's what it's really all about at the end. Seriously. So, of course, I'm Andy Rybarczyk from Chicago, Illinois.
And I'm Dwain Sponsteller from Parkersburg, West Virginia, and live at Sandusky, Ohio, here at Cedar Point. And as always, may the Q lines be ever in your favor.
Right on, Ride Warriors.